I think the whole start point of how we got into running as a family, oddly enough, is John, my brother, was in a school run program. And then, John got into a lot of races and was doing some of the road races, and little brother wanted to be like big brother. And I was allowed to do my first fun run. And the only rule was because I was quite young, is Dad had to come with me. And that's where the brogues got polished off, and the black socks got pulled up, and the belly got tucked in, and then the whole running bug for the family kind of got going at that time.
It was a wake-up call. I think it made me realize that I was out of shape, and had watched John run, had watched Jason play soccer and do all those activities, but I sat on the sidelines with my mug of coffee and donut and watched it rather than being part of it. And I think the running was really good, because unlike the other sports the boys had played, it was a chance for us to do something together.
Dad may have been out of shape, but we were still an athletic family. I think we were always active in sport before the running room. Dad coached us hockey and soccer, and we were always active. I think that's one of the strategies as now a parent. Looking back, I think it's a strategy as a parent: keep your kids busy in sport, and they'll stay out of trouble. And I know that Mom and Dad did that for us early on, for sure.
The boys were the catalyst that got me running. People said, how could you do this? How did you go from being off on the couch to becoming athletic? And the start of the store was really just to show people how to do that. And it was much a meeting place and a resource center for other people to come to. And I think what we did is built both a business, but we also built a sense of community in a time their world needed more community and continues to need more community.
I do remember when we were down, we were on a family holiday to visit my dad's parents, my grandparents in Arizona. And we saw all this great running gear down there too, at varied locations, but really nothing like that was going on in Canada. And I remember that was kind of a little light bulb moment that happened with Dad, was like, man, I wish we had some of this from Canada. Like, little did we know that he would take the next steps to actually open up a store or anything like that. But I think we saw the options that we saw down south certainly wasn't being offered in Canada.
Although I'd like to forget the matching tracksuits we all bought down there and came back. I know I find it funny looking at my children now, but man, oh man, those tracksuits were...
We were a team.
We were definitely a team back then.
I had the little brother thing again. I didn't mind dressing up like everyone else. That was fine. I was
a 14-year-old boy though, so I wasn't too keen on it.
The other thing is the team uniform was good because we put running room on them, and that was a form of advertising too.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think the early phase was really fun because it took off and grew quite quickly. It was probably about 3 years later, when we'd grown and opened a few stores, that we then got into a cash crunch. But I think the fact that we are more than just a retail business, that we had the satisfaction of, we call it our warm fuzzies, of helping people, and that sense that we were doing something in the community gave us the tenacity to kind of see ourselves through those tough times.
During that cash crunch time, Dad and I, it was 11 o'clock at night. We were coming home from Saturday night, cleaning up at the store, and both had to stop and grab kind of 20 bucks out. And I remember I took $20 out, and I kind of looked at my balance, and Dad was kind of peering over my shoulder, and he took out his money, and he showed me his statement, and he said, look, you got more money than I do today. And that was a really sobering moment, and I think that's a foundation for me that really showed how tough it was and how hard we had to work to get to where we are today. It certainly didn't come easy.
I think the thing we learned the most when things were tough is that you focus on what you do really well and then try to do it better. I know that sounds very simple, but that's really the key to success. It's the key to being a good athlete, but it's also the key in business. Jason literally grew up in the business and matured with the business and grew there. John had a sabbatical away from it, but I use the word sabbatical because you know, he was still, while Jason and I were out doing some triathlons on weekends and sometimes, John would be back running the stores, and his teaching skills that he learned as a teacher has been extremely valuable when it comes to the training programs and staff training that we do with our team.
The clinics really helped draw me back in a little bit because I could see, okay, maybe there is a way that I could actually still use my educational degree in teaching to help out the business.
We're family, you know, we're two sons and a dad, and we all get along, and we're a lot alike, but yet we're all unique in the skill sets that we bring to the organization.
One of the things that I know about all three of us is that no matter what needs to be done, all three of us are willing to roll up our sleeves and do whatever it takes to get the job done for the best interest of our company and our team. And I think that that's part of the success that we've had over the years, is that we've been able to attract and hire the same type of people with the same type of mindset. And that's what I'm most proud of when I look at our people in there, is every single one of them still likes to roll up the sleeves and get busy and get to work. And I like that about them.
The decision to go in the U.S. we contemplated for a long time. I mean, it's been 10 years now that we've been in the U.S. and we're still very guarded in our approach to the U.S. market. It's a highly skilled, highly competitive market. There's big players down there that can take you on if you think you're smarter than them. We're going in and making sure that we build the cultural values that we've built around our communities that have allowed us to be successful in Canada.
It wasn't the easiest move. I can only compare it in particular to, you know, when we went into Quebec, because it was a new language. We were really hypersensitive, and we really made the right smart moves to enter the Quebec market. Where the US, we did the same strategy, except there wasn't a language change, and that once you got down there, and when we opened up that first week, being in the stores and working the floor and monitoring and seeing kind of what the customers were saying, quickly realized we have to be smart and slow the way we do this process. You know, looking back, as Jay and Dad have said, you know, it's you forget how long it took us, the 20 plus years to develop the culture and the sense of community and the clinic environment and the run clubs and the walking groups that are in our stores. Those took years to develop and cultivate. And you know, I think that's one of the things that we just have to be patient in our growth in the U.S. And I think we've made headway. I'm very proud of the team that we have down in the United States right now. I think they're incredibly strong, and we really are now being called upon as the running experts in Minneapolis, St. Paul. We've been doing what we do for the last 27 years. There's been evolution, there's been things done right, there's been things done wrong. But what I do think and what I do like is what we do and the way we do it. We rely on our team. The three of us respect the fact that we have over 1,000 employees, that we need to make sure this business is run right. So it sounds boring to say more of the same, but really we have an entire country down south. We have a little penetration in there. I think we have a really good, fun time ahead. I think we have a great team set up ready to do that. Our growth has always been organic. There's no acquisitions in it. All stores have been grown through our company, and I really like that model. I think that it really resonates with all of our team members that are right across North America. And as far as the future goes, obviously, I think that immediate future, I think I look forward to continuing the challenge that we have in Quebec. Our Quebec stores are overperforming, and we're gonna put more stores into that province, and I think that's great in the short term. And I think, as Jason mentioned, the United States, if we had a crystal ball, I look forward to seeing what's in that crystal ball.
Well, most businesses, it's sort of, everybody knows you got to look after the customer and you got to look after the organization. I think the difference between, sort of normal companies or good companies is that they do that. It's an automatic given if you're going to survive. But, truly remarkable companies are companies that also make sure that there's a payback into the community. And if it's a running room, it's us and all the community efforts that we do. If it's Microsoft and Bill Clinton and Belinda Gates and Warren Buffett, their organizations are helping their organizations and their customer, and their community is the world. With ours, it's just Canada and the U.S. so far, so we haven't got to the world yet, but that's for the future.